La la la. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Disney Antiquities and Collectibles. As usual, your co-host Vince G, along with the incredibly famous Matt McKim. Matt, how you doing?
Incredibly something. I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. Are
You
you
had a
ready
good week?
for a good show? Yeah, good week. Busy
Yeah,
week. Busy week.
yeah. Very busy. Yeah. It's today we're excited because it's a special day. We're celebrating the career and the birthday of Terri Hardin Jackson.
Yes, we are.
And I she's done so much. You could talk to 100 different people, and she's just everybody's got something amazing, some different story. I've heard so many funny stories about Terri that I want to ask her, and all these different stories, and she's like, oh yeah. So I love all of them, but I can't wait. And I know you've got some fun stories out there, so I'm looking
Sure.
forward to that one as well. But
Yeah,
well, all right,
absolutely.
everybody. Without further ado, here is the incredibly talented, the amazing Disney Imagineer, the incredible Terri Hardin Jackson. Terri, how are
Okay.
you?
There she is. Happy
How are you
birthday, my
doing?
dear.
Thank
Happy
you. I am
birthday.
real birthday month, and it has been absolutely joyful.
Good.
So I was so excited that Vince, you could come, and I've noticed that a lot of people up in Middle California were just really, really happy that I actually had my party up there. So yay!
Yeah.
Yes.
Hi everyone, and what an honor it is to be back so soon.
Yeah.
Yes. We couldn't wait. We couldn't wait, and especially because it was your birthday.
Yes.
We kind of we've got a little bit of a surprise for you. So
Oh,
if you just kind of stand by and,
all
just pay
right.
attention to the monitor,
Okay.
some things are gonna start popping up. Let's
Okay.
see. There's the great Joe Menno.
Woo!
There is the amazing Philo.
Final
Hi.
And
Barnard. What's up?
there's
What's up?
Bonnie.
Beloved
Where's Danny? And
Bonnie.
we were supposed to have Danny. There's a few other people coming, but we wanted everybody to be able to join us and say hi.
Well, hi everybody, and
Hi.
I'm so glad to see you all.
You joined the
Bonnie, you're
67
muted.
Club. Congratulations.
I know, right? Right
Happy
back
birthday.
at you, right?
Let me see.
Happy birthday
What?
to you, fellow. No, happy birthday to
Oh, there
you.
we go.
Corey.
Okay,
No,
Bonnie,
to you.
you're
No,
good.
to you.
Well, we can see everybody. Danny, I guess, is having some technical difficulties, but
He's in the ether.
he's in the ether. But thank you, Bonnie. How are you, everybody? Joe, it's funny because I got to get to Joe really quick before we get to everybody. Joe did this amazing picture, and I'm Joe. Go ahead and put it up really quick, and I will try to get it onto the. I will try to put it onto the screen
Let's see if I
as
can
a
do that.
slide. But take a look at this.
Lordy.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
That's great.
You
Nice
have
job,
been
Joe.
a busy lad.
Yeah, in the past night.
Oh, it's so lovely. It's awesome.
18 hours of work.
Yeah, he's
18
quite so much.
hours.
Yeah. What
That's
he's-
great.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
That is so sweet of you, sweetheart. You know how much, Just
So-
connecting with me on the dragon was enough.
While I've got the three of you here, while I've got the three of you here along with Terri and me and Matt, Bonnie, how did you meet Terri? What was your first experience with Terri?
Oh gosh, I met Terri. Trying to remember what year it was, but through a Disney Legend dinner event hosted by
Uh-huh.
Cindy.
Okay.
That was my first time ever meeting her, and I just kind of, in a way, fell in love with Terri, as many of us do, because her presence is just so amazing, and like you just want to absorb so much of it, right?
Yeah.
And then from there on, just kind of found her on Facebook, and then saw something about a tribe. I was like, oh, what's this? And then met so many other people, and just been enjoying every moment of it.
Yes. Terri is larger than life. Terri is incredible.
And a big day for Bonnie, because Bonnie lives in an area she thought she was not as, that she didn't feel as populated. And she came to the party and says, holy cats, there's people here. I said, get connecting with them, girl. They all want to know you. Every single one wants to know you. And that's the joy, not only of the tribe, but just, now I'm sort of satelliting around to people in my tribe to get to know them and see them. In fact, I'm working on planning a trip out to see Joe. So because I'm semi-retired, I'm starting to see some of the people. I'd rather not see Joe during right now because it's hot and humid over there. But but I do want to connect with him and see his neck of the woods. And I kind of feel that way about everybody now that I am semi-retired. I'm more flexible in moving around and getting near people that may not get the chance to come see me. That I'll go see them.
Yeah. And Philo, I know this story, but I'm sure there's maybe a couple out there that don't know. How did you and Terri meet, and where did you guys meet?
Oh, well, you could say Star Wars brought us together in 1977. I actually met her now husband, Lindsay Jackson, a bit before I met Terri. And he says, I really want you to meet this friend of mine. And we had gone to see Star Wars opening day for my birthday, which was already done by the time the film came out, but we went up to Westwood to see it and sat through it 4 times. That was the days before they were throwing people out of the theater in between. Because you love the film so much, you and she have got to meet. So there we were. He brought me out to Sun Valley to Terri's house, and that was the beginning of a great many things.
And so many stories. But we go to a convention together, Philo and I. Philo says, you ever been to these conventions? And I said, no. And he goes, well, since you have this Wookiee suit, why don't you come down and go to compete? And so I said, okay, and went down there. And while we were there, the Rocky Horror Picture Show is showing. And he says, have you ever seen this? And I said, no. And he took me in to see it. And I said, what the heck is this? Toilet paper, water, lights, and
hot dogs.
And I was hooked. And I said, this is really cool. He goes, well, it's in Hollywood. He says, why don't we go check it out in Hollywood? And we had all these people dancing in front of the screen, and they were in these horrible costumes. And I said, Philo, we can do better than this. We need to build a magenta and a riffraff, and we need to just kick some, what? So we did, and we went down there, and we were so compelling that the next thing you know, we had a whole theater group. Philo introduced me to Garrett Gafford, may he rest in peace, and it was a news flash all over. We did 2 shows, and it was incredible. You could not get in the place. And then, and Philo and I were just like, what did we start? What is the matter with this? Make up this stick and all kinds of stuff like that.
Right.
But I see on the,
I had to see scars on my forehead from that bald cap.
Oh my God. And I see was that we had become so known at the Tiffany Theater in Hollywood that Tim Curry was going to be performing at the Rainbow.
Wow.
And he brought the cast to see us. And we did the time warp with Patricia Quinn, and I'm telling you, just you say magical things happen when you just create art for art. We just were having fun. And
I could do high kicks.
Yeah. And here we were. We had a great time. We did that. Yeah, we did it all. It was cool. So
Joe,
Philo and I go way back. Yeah.
Joe, how did you and Terri meet?
I just happened to go watched one of her YouTubes. And I happened to notice that there was something about she was talking about Lego, and that's my thing.
Oh, okay.
So she was talking about doing a dragon mosaic, and she's explaining it on screen. And the first thing that crosses my head is like, I can help her. And then I just contacted her, and we just started yakking back and forth. And now we have the dragon done up as a project. And it's just, all I can say is it's been one crazy adventure.
It's been a lot of fun. Joe and I went to a Lego convention last year.
Wow.
Yeah, she sold out my booth.
Wow.
Yeah. He says, if you can, if you'll come up here, you can stay at my booth and, and I said, well, okay, that sounds cool. And then he shows me this amazing magazine for Lego people. And he says, but the printed word, I don't know. And I said, okay, here's our goal. Every magazine sold before end of day. And he's like, oh, that's Terry, come on. And I said, Joe, don't worry. I think we've got this. And we met with these major Lego people who create Lego from Lego. So they don't build sets like maybe you or I do. They actually take the sets and rip the box apart and the Lego goes flying. And then they take the different components and they build these magical things, these huge magical things. And so I asked them, I said, Joe, oh, we love Joe. His magazine. Yes, we love his magazine. Do you subscribe? No, because there's really nothing he can teach us. And you were like, okay. What about if you want to be featured? Well, many of us have already been featured, okay. All right. So I said to Joe, we got to market this to the right people. And so people walk by and you say, do you build Lego? Well, it's a Lego convention. So of course they do. Public walks by, you go, excuse me, do you build Lego? And I don't care if you were 3 years old or you were 300 years old. I asked every person this question. Have you seen this amazing magazine? That you can buy it for blah, 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 that's a subscription, the yada, yada, or you can buy an issue or blah, blah, blah. And people were just, oh, I could get this for my son. I could get this for my kids. I could blah, 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 blah. And then the clock was ticking, wasn't it, Joe?
Yeah.
You want to tell them what happened at the end with what is it? 3 issues we had left?
Yeah, 3 issues left. And who bought them?
3 issues in 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes to go. And we've got 3 issues. And Joe is looking at the boxes in the back going, I don't have to ship anything back. Said, no, you don't. And we said, oh, he says, okay. So a guy walks up and he says, well, you only have 3 issues left. And Joe says, because you're the guy, whoever the guy was, $10 and you can have all 3. And the guy goes, done. And it was amazing. But we did it. And he said, you've restored my heart. I said, sometimes it's just the people you market it to.
Yeah.
It's just
she can sell ice to penguins.
That's what he said.
Yeah, basically.
You have to watch out with Terri because she speaks it happens.
Yeah.
She speaks it the truth. She speaks it the truth. Exactly.
I'm really good for helping others. I said, guys, when you're all famous, just remember me on a blanket selling twisted palm fronds and give me a place to stay.
All right, Matt McKim, you are up. How did you meet the famous Terri Hardin Jackson?
Well, actually, there's another family member that met her first.
Yes.
Actually, my brother went to junior high with Terri. And then I met her in 1987, the end of 87. We both went to an interview for Imagineering. And we both got hired the same day and started in the model shop, sculpting rockwork for Euro Disneyland.
Our what was it called? The one that they get you acquainted. What do they call it? Our day. That was the day that they walked us through everything and welcome to, this is the Disney, it was the orientation.
Orientation.
Yeah. We were both together
orientation.
on the orientation. Yeah, we were in orientation together. And then we found out we were in the same section together. And it was great.
And the rest is history.
Yeah.
We had good times.
From you, working
What's
on
that?
Mermaid.
Yes, you were.
That's right.
Yes,
I saw you in the Disney D diner every day.
Yeah.
Plus, you saw my mermaid tail and threw me in a tank.
Well, those Halloween parties, you really outdid yourself.
Yeah, that's what we said. We said the Halloween parties were a great way to let others know what else you could do. And so many said, Disney was a place that pigeonholed you. Disney was a place that put you there. And
the Zebra Warrior.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And we did these things, and all of a sudden I got notoriety for the outfits and taught other Disney people how to sculpt pumpkins.
Yes.
Yeah, next year they kicked my butt. So it was really great. As a teacher, you're really proud of your students.
Oh, that's funny.
So it was good. Yeah. Oh, what a great time to be an Imagineer.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And actually Disneyland Paris, EDL, Euro Disneyland, I think was the last time WDI had a project where we really felt like a family.
Yeah.
You know, after that, schedules became so important. I mean, we partied hard, but we worked hard. We made up for it.
Yeah.
And we got the job done. But I really felt we were such a family.
Yeah, and we had animation across the street from us, which was wonderful because Halloween would just be off day, and Philo and all the animators would come over.
Oh, absolutely.
And it would just be this huge party with everybody there. And then
Tony Baxter I got to crash your automaton meeting you had that morning, remember?
Yeah. Yes.
Peggy Van Pelt arranged it.
What a great
God bless Peggy Van Pelt. She was wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Name from the past.
Yeah.
So for those of you that haven't noticed, there is another person joining us. This is
we
Daniel
noticed,
Demeyer.
Dan.
I was going to say, how can you miss?
Danny, was not quite clear, so now it's better.
Yeah, he's looking a little better. Danny, Bonnie, Philo, Joe. You know everybody here, right? Wait,
how you all doing?
Danny, you there? Can we hear you?
Good. Where are you?
Good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. I'm in the truck in the middle of Mississippi with no signal.
Oh.
I was at my signal, so I had to drive somewhere to get a signal.
Live from the space shuttle. Yeah.
Wait, you see the steering wheel? Does everybody see the steering wheel? He's trying to hide.
I see you have,
That's hilarious.
I see you have Disneyland with you.
Seatbelt.
A seatbelt.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice of you to come see us in Mississippi.
Whoa.
There you go.
Sorry.
It's nice of you to come see us in Mississippi. From Mississippi. Live from Mississippi.
With Disneyland behind him.
What you got to do.
Excellent.
With Disneyland behind him. Danny, we're all talking about how we met Terri. How did you meet Terri?
How did I meet Terri? I met Terri at the Rocky Horror Picture Show back in I think it was 1977, 78. And then I forgot I met Terri, and then I did work for Louis Garcia and met Terri again. Yep. And I said to her, I know you from somewhere. And she said, yeah, right. And Philo came over and showed me a picture one day of her in magenta. And I said, that's it. I know where I know her from now. So.
And Dan's always like, should I disclose that, or is that should I tell?
Bonnie, you're a little bit younger, so we're gonna try to explain this. Rocky Horror Picture Show is a cult following movie that they used to play at midnights. People got dressed up. Ask Philo, Danny, and Terri if you could see their pictures one day. They are very eye-opening. They're very fun. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Oh, we had a great time. Bonnie, have you seen that movie?
Oh yes, many times.
I thought you had.
There you go.
I thought you had. This movie, when I saw it, my attitude was, this is one of the better tellings of Frankenstein I think I've ever seen. And then Philo said, well, all walks of life go to it. And when we did our theater thing, Philo and I were really good friends with one of the top hookers on Sunset. She'd come and see the show. And she was this beautiful, beautiful black lady named Bambi. That was her name, like probably her show name. But she would say, I'd say, so why this? And she says, well, I'm so beautiful, I can stop traffic. And she walked in the middle of Sunset and lifted her skirt. And the cars went, ah! And she walked back and she said, see? I went, Bambi! I mean, it was one of the wildest things. We had a guy dressed as Kwai Chang Caine from Kung Fu, and I went over to say, snatch the pebble from my hand.
my
And when we
hand.
turned around, he was Carradine. He was David. And
It
I
was
went,
David Carradine.
never mind. Philo and I met Jane Fonda, and we started to gush over Barbarella.
Yeah.
And she says, I hate that movie. And we were both like, how can you hate Barbarella? You were the most beautiful woman in the universe, the purest, the best. Anytime anyone was with you, it changed their lives. How can you not like being that woman? And she said, I didn't really think of it that way. And I said, start, because that is a good movie. And Philo said, that is a great movie. We're big Barbarella fans.
A lot of fun.
And she just kind of shook her head. So we had these celebrity people coming to see us because the Tiffany was getting a lot of this write-up, being in the heart of Hollywood, being a very beautiful theater. And we had to go to 2 shows, and it was when I had much more energy than I do now, because I would go from that to the Renaissance Fair.
Oh my God.
The Queen of Esther. And then I'd leave and go, oh, it was nuts. What a nut.
Right.
You know what you do when you're young. Yeah, crazy, but a great movie to this day. I love it.
Yeah.
Do you still make costumes? Do people still contact you about making costumes of any kind, Terri?
A lot of times people will reach out and I will say, I can make it for you, or I can teach you how to make it. That's the future for the tribe, is that I'm going to start teaching classes for the people at Terri's tribe, because it's an elite group of people. It's the VIP group of people. They come and they pay $5 a month. That's it. Some pay a little more if they wish, but everyone can come in for $5 a month, and they get a Zoom call every week with me live, in person. Anyone who can come, we do that. And then it's just on our private Facebook page. We just talk about all kinds of things. It needs to be a private page because we can dig very deep at times.
Yeah.
People, people since the pandemic have had real challenges, and they may have had challenges before, but it's how we deal with them today that's becoming more and more challenging. And they know that that's a safe space where they can share some real intimate stuff about themselves, or they can ask me questions that might not be something that you would ask on a public channel, because then you're going to get dissed for it. People are going to judge you for it. People are going to have opinions. And in the tribe, we're not like that, because honestly, being of mixed race, half black and half white, there are white people out there that have questions, and black people out there that have questions that if they asked it on a public channel, people might take offense. Now, honestly, it's none of their business to take offense, which is why when you're on the private page with me, you can ask these questions and I will answer them, because it's not like the first time in my life that stuff has happened. I was born during segregation in California. So I have lived quite an interesting life, and with white skin, it's a very different life than if I had brown skin. So it's very different, sometimes good, sometimes bad, but we talk about everything, and everybody else talks about their situation. But it has to be in a safe space. It has to be in a place where you can be honest and open without people making a judgment. And so this is the beautiful thing about the tribe, is that we talk about all kinds of things. And our dear friend Naomi, who Joe brought to the tribe, who has just recently passed away to the pain of all of us, she once was on a Zoom call, and she said, well, I don't think I like this tribe very much, because all you do is talk about Disney. And everybody was kind of like, oh, we're sorry, blah, blah, blah. And I said, Naomi, if you're going to hide behind your name and not let us see your face, that's your choice. But I am really good at what I do, but I'm not a mind reader. So what do you want to talk about? You need to open your mouth and tell us. And everybody was like, whoa. But I'm serious. This is why we're on a private page. Right. And I said, what do you want to talk about? I want to know what you want to know. This is how Joe started. This is how I fell in love with Lego. Because when I had Lego, we made windows by leaving a space open. Okay. Now they have these amazing kits that just are phenomenal. Plus, you've got people who have all these parts that they that they create on their own. So I learned so much from Joe and Naomi, because Naomi began to share with us that she was a Lego person invited by Joe. She also enjoyed charity and stuff like this. So they know that on that channel I'm going to be very open and frank. Rather than doing this, why don't you do this? Rather than feeling like this, stop whining and let's figure out what you're going to do. And they're, but it's not to be mean. It's just that they know they're always going to get my honest opinion, and that I love every single one of them. So it's a really great group of people.
That's great.
For those, again, it's Terry's Tribe, everybody. You definitely have to.
Awesome.
I'm a member. Yeah, it's great.
I'm a member.
You find statues. You find pins. There's so many things, but the conversation is great. The people are great. Everybody. One of the people that I got to meet the other day, Robert Anderson, and of course Bonnie. But we went to this amazing restaurant to celebrate Terry's birthday. And Robert, if I butcher this, I apologize. It's Sushi Omakase, and you guys have definitely got to look into it. There's one in Gilroy and there's one in Roseville. Amazing sushi, amazing food. He has got a tempura cheesecake that'll make you want to go there for that alone. Okay.
Yeah, here it is. So here's a picture with me with my birthday cake, which is the cheesecake.
Yes.
And then what else I got here? I've got, there we are. So this is Robert.
Yes.
In the middle.
There's
and
Robert.
He managed to get my husband to pose for a picture. My husband will not usually do that. I got him to pose for a picture. And then Bonnie, I thought you'd love this. You have roses that opened.
Oh my gosh.
These roses and the fruit and the happy birthday, that's from Bonnie.
Nice.
And so there's a little octopus trying to make his way. I guess he likes flowers. But that was from Bonnie, a couple of shots of that. And then I thought you guys would enjoy this. I went to breakfast for a birthday breakfast with my friend. This is our waitress.
Oh my goodness.
This is our co-waitress.
How cool.
The servers can't even carry the food anymore. I guess they're not allowed.
We have a place with one of those robots out here too.
It's so weird.
I've never
so
seen
flipping
that.
weird. Yeah, it's weird. I looked at it and said, okay, sorry. So there's the group right there. That's everybody at Sushi Omakase, everybody that came. And we had a great time.
Nice.
We had a really, really good time. Really, really good time. And
I really wish I'd been there.
I wish you had been there too, but you were there in spirit as everyone else is. And we're going to be sharing it on the tribe. And also, Vince, your wife and Bonnie were like two ducks in the same pond. I absolutely loved watching them just chatter away as they first met each other. And I said, don't lose touch, the two of them. I said, Bonnie, this is why this party happened, was because someone like Bonnie attends. And now she says, I didn't realize there were so many people here. And I said, surprise. And then they invited her to the 4th of July thing. Robert does this big 4th of July thing in Redwood City. Isn't it, Bonnie? Yeah. And invited you guys to come up for that. So yeah. Cool.
And it was funny because, when I mentioned I was a conductor for the railroad, he goes, oh, where? And I told him, and he goes, oh, I grew up in Redwood City. And I said, yeah, my train goes to Redwood City every night. So, it's kind of funny how everything works like that. It just, it's bizarre to me.
It is wonderful that everybody can connect this way. And now Bonnie has friends that she never thought she would have, that she's always had these friends. It was just a matter of, and I drove back and my husband is like, while we're riding back, he says, you are the happiest because Bonnie met friends and Robert met more people that'll work on his thing. And Vince, you found out what Vince does. And I mean, he did just across the board. He said, you're just happy when people connect. And I said, I really am. I really am.
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun seeing people that might not have otherwise met each other. Mm-hmm. And it kind of starts with you, it starts with you. And it's funny, like with Matt, like we were talking and we forget like these things that we like me and Matt, this is why we connect so well. And like we connect about Abraham Lincoln. Well, Matt was born on Abraham Lincoln's birthday. I was born on his death. And so we have that kind of connection. It's kind of weird, but it's like, all right, that's kind of different, you know. So
yeah, and of
What are you
course,
trying to
Abe
tell us
Lincoln
here?
played a big role in my life, and anyone who has is of any kind of mixed background, which is everyone in the United States. This is what I always laugh at, is that everyone in the United States is a mixed background. So what is with this, looking at people and judging by whatever.
Appearance.
It's a waste of your time, and it's a waste of space, and stop it.
Well, I have always said that when you focus on differences between people, you push apart. When you look at similarities between people, you pull together.
Yeah.
And the similarities are so exciting.
Oh, yeah. That's the connections.
Yeah. You're so proud and so
It's
happy
positive.
and so excited.
Yeah.
Watching the Lego, the Disney people who take collectibles and put on the white gloves and then show you, they turn over and they go, oh my gosh, look.
Yeah,
I have this amazing collectible and it has to be preserved. We must take care of it. It has to be, nice. Whereas the Lego people take a brand new box and the first thing they do is go rip. Go, ah! And the bricks go flying. And then they build what they build, and then they shove it off the edge, and it explodes back to its normal. And you're like,
right.
And it's because they say we'd go broke if we kept everything we built.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they destroy it. It's really a heart stopper. I gotta tell you, it is probably but they are very, very much in love with what they do and very supportive of each other in their craft, because many look at Disney as a kid's thing. Why don't you grow up? Many look at Legos like, what's the matter with you? Why don't you grow up? And you're like, hey, come to Middle Earth, weirdo. You've never swum in our pond.
Right.
And you're asking why we're always so happy. Well, maybe it's because we are so united in Disney or Lego or whatever,
Right.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the joy of it. Don't let people diss you because you like Disney. The fact of the matter is everybody collects something, and you get people that tease you about it, but it's the same person who paints their face half blue and runs to a Dodger game going, not my thing, but it's the same deal. You're sitting there jumping up and down and rooting for your team, which is absolutely what you want to have happen, but it's the same. We're just collecting things that are different. We're just honoring something that is very special to us. And Disney keeps trying to get us to not like them with what they're doing with Marvel and Star Wars, but we still have faith that they will fix it. So we are praying that they will fix it, hopefully.
Well, like Coca-Cola trying a new recipe, you can always go back.
Yeah, you can always go back.
And we're saying, please go back. Please.
And as a public, we're very forgiving. We're very forgiving of that. Oh yeah, sure, come on back. We'll take you. We love you, no problem.
Yeah.
You'll forget. You'll forget.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So
you just reminded me of something when you put up the Stay Puft Man, that funny story you sometimes tell about working in the costume. You know the one I mean, right?
Well, there's a couple of things. Being the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man was my friend Billy Bryant, and Billy was one of those people that designed it, created it, and then was sitting there wondering who would go in it. And it's Billy. You go in it. You get it. Why in the world would you not be the one inside the suit? And he said, well, they want an actor. And I'm like, and your point? So I said, and he says, well, if I go, but the bottom line was, once we told him, we said, he's perfect, because we don't have to cast. We are on a time schedule with Ghostbusters. So get him in it. We can start in 5 minutes, and they went, oh, that's a great idea. And so the next thing you know, he's in the suit, and he does a fabulous job. The problem was that we had 2 people on the set that liked fire a lot. And so they were in charge of pyrotechnics, thank God. But they would set everything on fire. You would be like, okay, not yet. Leave the Marshmallow Man alone. We'll test him, and So, but in the dog suit, I played the terror dog that Sigourney Weaver turns into, and I went to apply to build. And they said, you're a puppeteer. Do you think you could make the dog work? Well, any of you who was asked if you would like to play Sigourney Weaver's dog and can you do it? The answer is yes.
Yes.
Yes. I don't care if you think no. Yes. Can you ride a horse? You're going to appear on Yellowstone. Yes. And then go to the Sunset Ranch and learn how to ride a horse. Don't say no. Say yes. And that was half of the joy of, and they cast me as the dog, which was a lot of fun. And
well, the story I had in mind was with Bill Murray and your little portable library.
Did you get a
Billy?
Oh,
yeah. Well, Bill Bryant, who was in the suit, and I don't know if I have any pictures of it, but Billy, who was in the suit, he had enough room in his Marshmallow Man suit that he liked to read. So we put a library in the belly of the character. Because, so let's show you. Oh, I have a few pictures I can show you. So here is Billy's prototype. This is what Billy built to present to them what the Marshmallow Man should look like. Okay, so that was his design concept. That's a very rare picture. And then here's the sketch that they did based on that. And then
right,
show you more. Then we were working so hard. We were working really hard. They did 7 days a week. So 7 days became 14, became 21. So we created Marshmallow Man Hitler. Production is upsetting us, so we will make Marshmallow Hitler. And they would come into the studio and see that. You seen it here? Yeah, let that resonate a little bit. Yeah. You know, creative people are creative, and they tend to do, what's creative. So what Philo is talking about is, here is Billy. He's taking a break and he's reading from his library. So, and there he is, because they if you've ever been a suit performer, they always are trying to tell you to stay in your suit. So we said, we're going to take good care of you and make sure you've got stuff to read. And then we would do all kinds of silly, I don't know if I have the one where, here's one this is the one where I'm making a face. Because I have his nose up his,
Yeah. Botox.
So it's all kinds of crazy. It's crazy stuff like that. Yeah, Ghostbusters was a great experience, and Philo's right. The story was there. Here I am with my dog. That's my dog.
Did you get credit for that dog suit? Did you get credit for that, Terry, on the titles?
It's so nice of you to ask that, because we were supposed to get credit. And then they dropped the names. And unfortunately, I went to the premiere and everybody was angry. And I thought, here's one of my first biggest films I've ever done. And nobody's talking to anybody. They were all really upset. So I went to the party, and Ivan Reitman and Richard Edlund did this in the Variety. So this is a list of all the names that were left off. Okay.
Wow.
And I'm like center in the middle. I'm like right here. It's probably fuzzy, but I'm like in this area right here. But anyway, I'm on there. So it would like IMDb would say, we don't see you in the credits, so you weren't in the movie. And I was like, yeah, stupid, dumb. But he did this because he felt so bad. They had found a loophole, and they told Richard. And so afterwards, Richard said, you promised to give credit to everyone. And they said nothing. So Variety said, well, if you and Ivan want to list everybody who is in Ghostbusters, you can do it that way.
That's
and
nice.
They were so sweet. They were so sweet. Yeah. So coming in October, I will be on a panel with the Hollywood show in Burbank at the Marriott. And I am on a Ghostbusters panel with Annie Potts and Ernie Hudson and others. So if you're interested in going, that is October. I know I cringe too, but they actually nailed a date that I didn't have anything. So it's the 18th and the 19th. And chances are the panel will be the 19th of October. So that's a date when I'm really excited because I love being on Disney panels, but it's nice to be acknowledged for Ghostbusters. It's just really, really nice that someone, kind of looked up and said, hey, she's done other stuff, by the way. And
have you ever thought of doing a Stay Puffed pin?
I'm going to do a Stay Puffed sculpture for that event.
Okay.
Oh, good.
So I asked if I could do a special sculpture for that event, and they said yes. So I'll only have 50 of them, but Tribe will see them first. Tribe will get to see them and help me with the look and everything. But I'm going to do it because I'm so excited to be a party of something like that. It's very nice.
Great.
Very cool.
Yeah, there you go. Philo's got his pin.
I got mine, but it's packed away right now.
Yeah, we did these pins for a charity event called CHOC, Children's Hospital of Orange County, and we're going to do our walk on July 21st, and we raised $5,600. So we're real proud.
That's
real
great.
proud.
Congratulations!
Yeah.
Congratulations!
Yeah. So Matt,
They're
your
big.
story. What did you need, my love?
Oh.
We're getting off on these tangents, and I don't mean to do that to you.
No. No. That's what this is all about. No, you shared a story with me probably 35 years ago.
Wait, how long?
35 years ago. Yeah. We're only 37, so we were about 2 years old, I think, at the time, right, Terry?
Yeah, dude.
I know.
Bonnie, how old were you? How old were you 35 years ago, Bonnie?
She was just a dream in her mommy's eye.
Yes.
I was a thought bubble.
God. Let me tell you, Bonnie, it's not easy to say that. I mean, I don't feel much older than 35.
Hey, it's a gift to get older.
Yes.
There you go. She's very diplomatic with us old people. She's very diplomatic with us old people.
The gray hair that are coming in, I don't pluck them. I just say I earned that. I earned that.
Exactly. I earned that.
But I love the story, Terry, that you told me about when you were very young with your sister, and you would have breakfast in the kitchen at the breakfast table with your sister, and your dad would give you oatmeal every morning, and you guys were getting a little tired of that.
Yeah, now I can't.
And you got creative.
I can't throw my sisters under the bus because my sister was not born yet. My mom was on this kick. She was on this total kick.
I got it twisted then.
Terry's got to be healthy, okay? And I was like, really? And so I'm not giving her all of those sugary cereals, which my favorite was Lucky Charms. So she was like, no, not happening. So spoon-sized shredded wheat. So I'm a little girl living in Los Angeles, which at the time was still a little scary, but not as scary as it is now. And we lived in a little like duplex kind of house, but it had a basement. And to get to the basement, it was a switchback staircase. So at the landing of the first part of the switchback was like a closet. Okay. So I would sit there and my mom would serve the spoon-sized shredded wheat and she'd say, I'm going to sit here until you eat every last bit of this. Well, kids know. Really? Let's test that theory. So I sat there with my spoon and I was like, and I did this and my mother says, seriously? And I was like, what? So she got to the point like all parents do and says, you better finish that, girl. or you're going to be in trouble. And she got up and she left. Well, I wondered if my mom ever calculated the time it took while she was sitting with me versus the time I came in and said, all done. And what I had done is gotten up, snuck down the first landing, and scraped the spoon-sized shredded wheat underneath this chest closet, whatever it was, right? And I don't think they caught on because, 2 years later, I think I'm a little kid because my sister was born when I was, we're 3 years apart. So my mom was pregnant with her and we moved to the Valley. So in that time, we start to move furniture and my dad moves the chest and he sees something living and breathing underneath it.
Oh my God.
Oh, no.
He says, Terri, come here a minute. And I went down there and my dad said, what is this? And I said, I have no idea. And he says, it appears to be, and he looked closer and he says, it looks like it used to be some time ago, spoon-sized shredded wheat.
How did it get there? I don't know, Dad.
I don't know, Dad.
Daddy's little girl doesn't know.
I mean, he knew doggone well what was there. He says, the new house, we're not going to feed her spoons. He probably said that privately to my mother. Same thing happened in the new house. There was a circle drawn on the back of the fireplace. The fireplace pushed into another room. And it made shelves and stuff in the other room, which was our den. And my dad found a circle drawn there. And he said, guys, who drew this circle on the wall? And not me, Daddy. And I said, not me, Daddy. And he'd say, it's that ghost again, that not me ghost. And he said, when you find that not me ghost, you tell me. And he left. And he said about 5 minutes later, he went back and there was a face.
Oh, man.
June babies. You got to watch out for those June babies. I'm sure it was probably me, but my dad had a real good sense of humor about stuff like that.
Actually, Glenn Keane's father, Bill Keane, who did Family Circus, he actually had a little ghost that was named Not Me. Did you know that?
Not me.
No.
Because all the kids would say, not me, not me.
My dad would always say that. It must be that little not me ghost.
Yeah.
You tell him. My parents had to be really careful because I would draw on any available clean surface. And they knew that my room had sketches. I had somebody gave me a poster with an extended pencil and she was laying on the bed. And she said, the only problem with drawing on the ceiling is I don't have a pencil that reaches, and it was extended. So I taped a bunch of things together and was sketching on my ceiling in my bedroom. And my dad went, okay, whose idea was it to give her this poster? So they knew that anytime we were punished, I couldn't be in my room because I was very happy there. That was my world.
Yeah.
And so they would always put me in their room. Yeah. So they put me in there. My sister and I would fight. He put me in their room, but before they did, they scoured their room to make sure there were no pens, no pencils. You are to be punished, not to have fun. And you know how kids are. You're wah, 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 wah. And then all of a sudden it's when. So as a parent, you're sitting outside and you're listening to the WAN, you're going, and then it stops and you go, and then you go, and they opened the door and I had done a mural on the back. I had found 3 crayons and I had done a mural over my dad's and mom's headboard. I had illustrated all across. And my father just shook his head and closed the door and said, we missed 3. And then the day he had to paint over it, he cried. I was 32 years old when he had to paint over it. He kept it. Yeah, but he just cried. He said, I kept looking at that going, that's my, just let the whirling dervish whir is what he would always say. Back. We don't understand this kid, but we do know that she's just, she was just this crazy kid. So
this kid
yeah.
come a long way.
Yeah. But I always had my support of my parents, always saying, lead with tolerance, and if you can't go through one door, go through the other one. Just wait for the door to open and then get through it. Don't wait. So I did.
Who was your biggest influence as an adult? Like once you got into the business, who's the one person? Like I know your parents, they, everything, but as far as your professional career, who's the one person that just you adore that had the biggest impact on you?
Blaine Gibson.
Blaine?
I loved Blaine Gibson. I didn't know about Blood Gibson until I was 8 years old, and I was riding Jungle Cruise about 50 times back when you could at Disneyland. And the cast member said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm sketching the animals." And he said, "There's a person that makes this happen." And I said, "What do you mean?" And they said, "They're called Imagineers, and they build the animals and they sculpt the animals." And I'm like, "What?" And they explained it to me. So I scoured newspapers and I watched Wonderful World of Disney. And he said, the guy's name is Blaine Gibson. Now, I didn't meet Blaine Gibson until years later. Dan DeMeyer knows this because it was at Louis Garcia. Louis Garcia made it happen. And I remember seeing, now I'm one that just doesn't seem to take pictures because these people are my colleagues. But Blaine held my sculptures in his hands and says, "These are remarkable." And I keep playing it in my ears. Mm-hmm. These are, somebody that was so inspirational to me. And Jim Henson, who I've worked for years and got to know and fell in love with, he was not my inspiration when the Muppets came on. The inspiration for me was Frank Oz. Because Frank Oz did a plethora of voices, and I thought Jim Henson had one voice. But Jim was doing all kinds of things. So after I met Jim and started to work with Jim, I understood Jim's genius and fell in love with them both. But I will always tell you the truth. Jim Henson invited me to come to New York to work, and I told him no. So there are things that you do in your life that you say, if I'd have said yes, where would I be? But I'm very happy where I am because I still had a great relationship with Jim and a really good relationship with Frank. We did Indian in the Cupboard together. Frank met me, and then he cast me an Indian in the Cupboard. The Indian was supposed to be a puppet, but then they went with CG. So I did one shot. And then I also worked on the rat sequence at the end. And Frank said, I need someone without an ego because I was working with Kevin Clash. And at the time, Kevin had a huge ego. Now Kevin is working and we've been friends, but let's face it, he was on TV Guide and he was on Kevin had the Catbird Live. He was amazing. And so if you were a little full of yourself, at least he could back it up, as opposed to being full of yourself and going, where did you say you're great again? I played the undercover boss. Okay. But he was the voice of Elmo. He was the voice on the toys. He did so many things creatively and everything that, and he was Baby Sinclair, and he was great to work with.
Baby Sinclair.
Yeah.
He was well known for doing Yoda's voice later on, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Did he do Yoda's voice later?
Yeah.
I don't know if Kevin did it.
I think so.
But I do know that,
good food,
that Frank Oz really loved doing the voice. Just after a while, he said, being in the puppet is a little bit crazy. So you guys can, so. But what a great guy. What a great group of people. Fantastic. What an opportunity. Yeah, great. Yeah, because Jim came and found me. He sold the Muppets, and then he called me, and he said, now that you've refused me, you better put your money where your mouth is, because you're coming and auditioning. And if you're terrible, I'm going to really make your life hell. And I said, bring it on. We're buds.
Was it Jim Henson was it Jim Henson you worked with on Captain EO, or was that someone else?
Captain EO was indeed, let me see. Yeah, it was the Creature Shop. So yes, Jim Henson's Creature Shop that worked on that. Now that was scary because I was given the role with Anthony Ashbury, who did the creature in Little Shop of Horrors. Now, it took a lot of people to do that new Little Shop of Horrors, but Anthony was one of the leads. And Anthony said, if you act as if, you can put it into play. So I'll never forget, we went to Amblin to do, because for Flintstones, we went to Amblin. Yes. And they didn't have our names. And Anthony said, what do you mean you don't have our names? Look again. And I was in the back going, whoa. And the guy says, I'm sorry, it's not here. He said, well, you better fix it. Because heads will roll. And the guy was so freaked out, he let us through. But I mean, I learned with Anthony that if you embody that which you can do, it really works. So when we did stuff with Henson's, and Flintstones was also a Henson production, so we do that. I'm doing Garbage Disposal Pig, and it's me, Anthony, and my friend Joe Self, and I'm terrible. We are rehearsing, and I can't get it right. I cannot, for the life of me, get it right. We are at the Creature Shop, and I am trying so hard to make it work, and it's not coming together. And I'm like, oh, I am so in trouble. I mean, and meanwhile, they had designed Dino, and Dino was awful, and Steven was working on Schindler's List and wanted not to be brought over for Flintstones. This is why he picked the director who directed Beethoven, which his name will come to me in a minute. But he was a lovely guy. He loved the Flintstones, so he was our director. But Steven was called to the set because they didn't like the way Dino looked in dailies. And so they said, look, we may have to change builders. And he said, the next scene you do, I'm coming. Steven's coming to see it, which was the Garbage Disposal Pig sequence. That, did I mention I sucked at it? I'm like, Steven Spielberg is what? And they said, it's only our job, so good luck. What am I gonna do? And of course, everybody was there. Not me. There's the not me ghost.
Sorry, that was by mistake. I wasn't supposed to throw that up until then.
I like that, though.
But maybe it was appropriate. That was a Freudian slip. Sorry.
Anyway, long story short, everybody in the production is in this little area of Fred and Milma's home. Now, when you do audio animatronic puppets, you're in the front looking at the puppet from behind the camera. Right. So I'm in the middle of all these people, hoping that I'm going to crash and burn. Okay? The only allies I have are the Jim Henson Creature Shop and my fellow puppeteers underneath the sink. And I'm saying to myself, I'm out there going, and everyone is looking at me, and John Goodman is in his Fred Flintstone lounger. He and I had a problem. And so he looked at me, but Anthony, bless his heart, he started to make me laugh. He started to tell me jokes, and I was laughing. So I was laughing, and I was laughing, and I was laughing. And I looked over, and John saw me laughing and started laughing. And then other people, they couldn't hear me because I hear what the joke was, but they heard, I was like, so it's infectious. They were like, this girl is laughing like a crazy person. And then Steven walked in and was like, and on the headset, he said, is Steven in the room? And I went, uh-huh. So Steven says, okay, kid, I'm ready to see what you got. And I swallowed hard, and it was a fly or die moment, and we killed it. I mean, we really killed it. We really brought it. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I just used the force or whatever, and a lot of prayer. And I did it. And the icing on the cake was Stephen never let anyone see dailies. And he walked over and put his hand on my shoulder and says, I'm going to give you 3 something I don't give anybody. We're going to go see dailies after this is done tomorrow. I'm going to take you in and show you how good you really are. And he said, and your company is saved because of you. And I was like, you know, it's a scary situation, but you just got to do it. You just got to do it. And you can be so scared that your teeth are chattering. Trust me, they were. Luckily, I didn't have to do a voice or anything. I just had to make him get the fork. It's when the fork gets taken out of the garbage disposal pig, if you've ever seen Flintstones. The scenes you see is the scene that we did under duress. But it's a terrifying moment, and there's lots of those sometimes in your life, and you just got to say, okay, I'm going to go for it, because if you sit there and explain why you can't, then, in the industry, things like that are, so it was really a scary moment. I think I've told people this before, but yeah. So Ghostbusters, my egg on the face. Terry does a lot of egg on the face moments.
Looks pretty clean today, though.
Oh, thank God. I'm so excited to meet Bill Murray. So I'm on the set of Ghostbusters, and I am beside myself to meet Bill Murray. I can't wait. So there he is, hair going every direction, looking like he just woke up. And I said, oh, my goodness, it's Bill Murray. Oh, my gosh. Oh, I'm so excited to see you. I'm Terri Hardin. I'm going to be Sigourney Weaver's terror dog. And I'm so excited because I really, really loved you in Caddyshack. And he said, excuse me, what? And I said, I really loved you in Caddyshack. And he said, I thought you said Caddyshack. He's like, Caddyshack. Why is Caddyshack so special to you? Now I know that Bill punks people, but at the time, he was like, why Caddyshack? And I said, well, the person who taught me everything I know about puppets is Pat Brymer, and he played the gopher. And I said, he was the gopher. And Bill says, oh, really? Well, have you seen a show, maybe not, called Saturday Night Live? And I said, I'm really sorry, but no, I don't know. And he went,
Saturday night what?
Are you kidding me? And I went, I'm sorry. And he goes, Dan! And so Dan comes over. Now, this is my first time meeting Dan Aykroyd, and he reminds me of Stan Laurel. If you don't know Ron Hardy, his hair is up, and he's kind of like this.
I see that.
And I thought he was absolutely the cutest thing, but Bill tells him she hasn't seen Saturday Night Live. No one on Ghostbusters is going to be working here if you haven't seen Saturday Night Live. And it suddenly dawns on me. And I start to shake, and I start to get scared. And Dan turns over and he says, Terry, what's the matter? And I'm like, do you think we're going to fire you? And I was like, well, aren't you? Not my fault I haven't seen Saturday Night Live. And he says, oh, no, Bill, you ass. No. Bill, you're scaring her. And he said, no, we're not going to do that. And he picks up one arm, and Bill picks up the other, and they throw me in a golf cart. And they drive me on the Columbia Studios, which is now the Warner Brothers Studios.
Yeah.
Drives me over there, and they throw me in a screening room, and they go, 3 Saturday Night Lives now. And now. Imagine this is you and never seen the show. What is the one thing that is crossing your mind? That one thing, I'll tell you. Please let me laugh. Oh, please let me laugh. Just let me laugh. I want this job so bad. Let me laugh.
Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger was one they showed. Definitely gave me a giggle. And then Samurai Delicatessen also gave me a giggle. But I flew over the back of the chair laughing hysterically with Land Shark.
Oh,
I saw Land Shark and lost it completely. And in my head, I'm going, thank God. And after that, they took me back and they said, okay, now you can stay. And I was like,
Nothing with Chevy Chase, though, right? There was nothing with Chevy Chase.
No, nothing with Chevy Chase. But it was, and from then on, Bill Murray would punk me every chance he got because I was this young, happy to be there person.
Didn't he grab your legs and scare the hell out of you at one time?
Well, he saw that so I was into a little soap opera you may know called All My Children. And at the time, the Cassadines had a freezing machine that was going to freeze the world, and they were going to hold the world hostage, okay? It was a Luke and Laura moment. Google them if you don't know who they are. And they were huge. Luke and Laura were the bee's knees of soaps. So my friend Ian Kelly ran the monitor that was inside my dog that I could watch the camera when I was performing. So my lunch just happened to be at the same time as All My Children. So Ian says, well, if you want to just eat your lunch up in your dog, now I'm 40 feet in the air, 40 feet in the air, eating my lunch, watching All My Children. And Bill walks by the set at some point and he sees this blue light coming out from underneath my dog. And he's like, what the? So he sneaks up the stairs and he looks at the little gap, and there I am like this, watching and eating my sandwich, and watching. And so he goes, oh, and the dog goes, and you hear Bill go, oh. And I look through it, and he's running down the stairs, and I go, you're a dead man, Bill. You're a dead man. You're dead.
That's the story I wanted to hear.
I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. Some people say, I don't believe it. I say, it happened. It was Ghostbusters was a crazy time.
Didn't you stand in for Angelica Houston, too, for Captain EO?
Yes. Yeah. She wouldn't fly. So I did the flying. And
those long shots of her hanging off the soundstage about 30 feet.
Yes, wow. Yes. And 7 months with Michael Jackson. Absolute bliss. Yeah,
and they left Terri up there at break time, and all the dancers ran to the food table and consumed everything. And she's up there. Hello.
Remember me? Somebody want to give me something?
Dancers are like locusts. They go from one end of the table, and then by the time they're done, there's nothing left but the tablecloth. It was pretty funny. But yeah. We could tell you, we could regale you with some stories. Like you'd be like, what? Wow.
Wasn't there a time when you doubled for Sean Young too in Dune?
Yes. I was in Mexico while she's having a cocktail. I was out sweating my, running around in the dunes. Right. Mexico in August. Just think about it. Oh man. But I didn't know any better. Dune was my first movie. So when they asked me to double for her, I said, okay. Yeah. And it was fun. No sequence where they're running to catch the sandworms and there's that big line. I'm in there somewhere. But it's a long way. What a fun thing to do, even though I lost a lot of weight there and I didn't have that to lose back then.
Terri, I got to tell you, we were going to have a few other people, but they had some technical difficulties. We were going to have Bob Gurr.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He wishes you a happy birthday.
Isn't that the sweetest?
Willie Ito. Willie wishes you a happy birthday. Connie was going to come on. Rob and Rose Burdine were going to come on. Everybody's had a little technical difficulties, but everybody wanted to say happy birthday and they love you and they were thinking of you. So
well, all y'all that couldn't make it, I want you to know that I love you all. You all know that. Bob, I'll call you later because I'm dying to. I'm told I need to see his studio. It's really cool for his Gurr show. And so I'd love to see that. And then Connie, I want to go up and see her. I went to see her at another time, but this time I'm going to go. I told her we'd go out and have a girls' day because we're both, in need of that. So I'll go see her. Vegas is not far, so we'll do that. I said when it gets cooler. Because she said, man, she said when it's 5 o'clock in the morning and it's already 90, she says I walk really fast. You know? I don't
It's like
think you can walk
Modesto.
fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't walk fast enough when it's 90 at 5 a.m. I'm sorry. There is no walking. Treadmill time, you know.
Treadmill
So
time.
thanks to all of them, you know, love to every single one of them that could be here, and love to every single one of you that is here. What a lovely, lovely surprise. And the Marshmallow Man I showed you was from Vince, and his wife gave that to me. An exclusive gift, and I'm really thrilled to have it. It was nobody needed to give me gifts. The gifts were them showing up, you know.
But still.
It was nice to get them. I'm not saying no, but I wanted to show you. Do I have it here? Yeah. Here's the remainder of the fish that I ate.
That's like a Warner Brothers cartoon.
It does. It really does.
I have to tell you, people were like in the restaurant going, "She's gonna what?"
Remember when I gave you the Star Wars bubble bath collection?
Yeah.
And you called me up later and you said, "Fi, I really love this because I can twist Vader's head off."
You're telling my secret. You know, you just never know what your love of something is going to do for you. You know, the dragon was something that I fell in love with, a thing that Joe and Naomi told me about that I later researched, called dots. And I fell in love with dots only to find out that the dots are being discontinued, which Joe said. I was like, "Oh no, the dots are being discontinued." And Joe said, "It's not the end of the world, my friend. Just relax." And so here is the dragon. This is not Joe's version of the dragon, but this is the dragon that Joe saw that I did. And then Joe took it, and he and I have actually put colors that Lego has. I sort of free for all my colors, I won't lie. And so he has redesigned it and then calculated it, and now we're thinking of doing it at a Disneyana fan convention. I don't know if it'll be this October, because I don't know how quickly we can get things done, and we've got to get from the president, and the president was out on a cruise until 2 days ago. So now I'm going to send it to her. I spoke with her yesterday, and I'm going to send it to her and see if we can make it happen. But how big is it, Joe? What did you figure it was? How big it was? It was big, right?
5 by 7 feet.
5 by 7 feet. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And the
big.
neat thing is it has these little panels. So what we're going to do is allow people to pay to build a panel, and then we'll build the dragon. So anyone who comes to the show can pay, and then a portion will go to the 2 charities. Some will go to Joe and I, because it's going to cost me to do this, but some are going to go to Chalk, and then also Ryman Arts, 2 charities that are very close to my heart. So this is what Joe has inspired me to do at a time when I was just going to do it for myself. I was like, I'm just going to figure out how to build it, and we'll do it. And he's like, no, you know, maybe we can do an event around it. And so the idea is to get with the Disneyana Fan Club and see, because they've got a new venue. It might be a nice draw. So we'll see. But the window is getting tight. So it's just a matter of whether or not they act. Sometimes they're a little slow to act. So we'll see. So hear that, Disneyana Fan Club? You're going to have to act fast. You know, but yeah, so the dragon was the thing that brought Joe and I together, because he said, I think you could actually build this and I can be of help. And he's been amazing. He just helps any and every time. Yeah. So it's, every single one does great stuff, you know. Yeah. And Philo now, you know, being retired, we're just, you know, from the Rockin' Chair Club, and then we talk about appearances that, you know, we go and do. And I'm happy to hear that you're so busy, Philo. Hopefully, you know, I'm busy sometimes doing nothing. I think retirement means no deadline. So that's my thing to say, is to not have a lot of deadlines, you know? Yeah.
It means coming to the dark side. It means coming to the dark side. Yes.
Yeah. It means the right to pull the covers over your head if you don't feel like getting up. You know. No. Okay. Yeah.
Well, guys, I wanted to just say thank you to each and every one of you for giving up your Sunday and hanging out with us. And Terri, like as usual, we love you to death, and we're so happy we got to spend today with you in a little time.
Well,
on
we
Friday.
just have to say thank you to all of you, all of you
like
out there. All of you for each and every one of you for coming and joining me. I really wanted to show. I really wanted to show Bonnie that her roses opened.
Yeah.
Because her roses came to me in Gilroy. It's 5 hours away. And I stopped to do bingo in Moore Park for chalk. So those 4 little roses. But then I gave them water and they were like, hey, we're still here. Don't worry. Really, really happy that they survived and us too. So it was a great time. I was glad. I want to thank you if you came, and then thank you for showing up here. And for those of you who didn't, my heart is with you. And for all of your viewers.
Yeah.
My heart.
Happy birthday Bob and Rose.
You.
Thank you, Lovey.
We have Bob and Rose down here. I'm gonna. You guys are muted. There's no image.
Oh, where are they?
So
they're a record label. Bob and Rose have a new record label.
Hey, Bob and Rose.
Hey, Bob.
Yes. Let's see.
Can you hit your mute button? There we go. Can we hear you?
There they are.
There they are.
Rose.
Birthday, Terry.
Thanks, my loves.
And you didn't tell him you're the present from us.
I didn't tell them the other present from us because you're here now. That's your story to tell, buddy.
That's your cue.
Right. Bring it on.
How funny.
They're both giggling. They're not going to speak. You got to speak. These two do. They hide behind this a lot. They're very cute. But it's time for them to speak now and tell you what the surprise is, because it's something that they're very proud of.
Terry, we said we love you.
I love you too.
Thank you for all that you've done for us.
Oh, you're very, very welcome.
That's sweet.
Oh, you.
The Herbalife.
Yes.
Bless your hearts. You're like we're all such strong advocates of that product. But what happened on my birthday, guys? You want to share it?
Our granddaughter was born.
Yay! Congratulations.
So you've got a granddaughter, and same day as Terri. What's her name? May we ask what her name is?
Her name is Roosevelt Virginia Ramirez.
Oh, congratulations.
Isn't that cool?
Congratulations, Grandma and Grandpa.
See why that's not my story to tell.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations again.
That's a proud grandparents thing right there.
Yes.
Yeah. I was touched by that, and then I said, "Uh-oh, you guys got problems."
Yeah.
Baby. Uh-oh. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, look out. Danger.
See, but that's the joy of being a grandparent, is you can spoil them, give them candy, cookies, soda, and then go home now. You go home. You're not staying here. Yeah. See, Bonnie, everybody knows. You go home now. We don't want you.
You're such a bad grandparent there, Vince.
Yeah. No, I think that's what my mom said. You can give them back.
Yeah.
The joy, you can give them back. And it's also called retribution, because kids why they were a pain in the butt,
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
It's so funny, but a parent can't, admit that,
Yes.
My poor mom. Anyway, Rose. Yeah, Rose?
Hey, I wanted to let you know that Roosevelt is a mixture of me and my daughter Belinda's name. And then Virginia.
That makes sense. It's a very lovely name.
Yeah.
It is.
That's a pretty name.
Tell Belinda I said congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Congratulations to you both. It coming from everybody if you can't hear us.
Yeah.
So is that the first grandchild?
No.
is the first daughter. We have a grandson.
All right.
So he's
So the first
17 years.
granddaughter.
Yes.
Isn't that cool?
Yes.
Well, thank you again, Terri.
Well, thank you again, Bob and Rose. Love you
Yeah.
bunches. You know that.
Yep.
All right, guys.
Every one of
Yeah.
us.
And the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
We'll
right.
go ahead and wrap this up. We're going on an hour and 20, and you know, I know everybody
You
wants to
have
go
lives.
enjoy their
Don't
Sunday.
you have nieces and nephews or something, Vince, in the other room? Yeah. Good luck. You may open it up to chaos.
I'm getting ready to sneak out the window. I
Right.
found Disney movies. I'm gonna go sneak out the window. I don't hear a noise in there. So the house is either destroyed or they're enjoying themselves. So I'm
That's
creeping out the
okay.
window right now.
Watch out. They're quiet. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I figure there's candy and popcorn all over the walls, and everything's really good, or there's nothing there and it's just obliterated. So,
Not me.
yeah, not me. Exactly, not me.
Oh, that's funny. Well, happy birthday, Terri.
All right,
Happy
guys.
Happy birthday.
Happy
birthday
birthday.
to you.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday
So
again,
good to
Terri.
see you guys. And you know we'll gather again if you're going to be at D23.
Yes.
We're gathering on Sunday night at the Lazy Dog, which is just steps away from the Honda Center. Come join us at 7. We're
Okay.
having dinner. Everybody buys their dinner, but you can meet tribe people, podcasting people, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're coming for D23, come see us after the presentation with those that will not be mentioned. Except for is it Frank Oz gets on?
Except for
Yeah, but do not mention anyone else.
Okay.
But you can come see us on that day, and we'd love to see you. So
Excellent.
Fun.
All right, everybody. Plan on D23 meetup at least. All right, guys. Thank you for showing up. Everybody, thank you for sticking around.
great seeing you all.
Thank
We
you.
will see you next time.
Thank you
Terri,
all.
happy birthday. Love you to
Happy
death.
birthday, my dear.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Kisses,
We'll see you again
guys.
next
Yeah.
time.
Happy birthday.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.